Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout Live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. The Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams, edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio for those watching on YouTube, as well as those listening on podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Reid Wilkins with you here on this Tuesday. Gents, how we doing on this start to the short week?
Yes, I'm doing great, Matthew. Thanks for asking.
Wonderful. I am so thrilled to have you here, Reid.
I'm doing good. I don't know.
Says that.
I don't know what that was, but
I think
doing
anytime
great.
I've brought him on the Hangout and asked how he's doing, that's kind of like
That's
the
his
response
thing?
I get.
You're feisty today.
Just getting going.
You're feisty
Just
today.
getting going. In a great mood.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
you could
normal mood.
See, the way he said it. Did you hear that?
The normal mood part?
Yeah, the tone. That's our Reid Rick. Good morning.
This is my first time in this room. It's nice.
Thank you.
Turned out very well.
I love our backdrop right now, blocking those blinds.
The cardboard boxes and pictures. It's pretty
Picture, yeah. Well, we'll do something better with that one, but I also think like maybe we should just keep it that way because I think it looks very lovely.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you can't see it on camera, so it's
No,
fine.
that's true.
Well, we tweeted it on. I put it on Twitter, so
Oh,
people
did you?
could
Okay.
see.
Yeah, it's
So anyone could go
public
find it
knowledge.
and go take a look. But then it's just a little extra treat for people that come into the Hangout. They can see something like that as they're looking at.
True.
Okay.
Better than just soundproofing.
Yeah. Chris the Plumber texts again and says, with shorts that short, Tommy should be sitting in Reid's chair. LOL. They're not even that short today.
You can't judge by sitting down. You have to judge by standing up.
Do you want me to stand?
Yes,
I also
please
want to know if
stand.
our
And
texting
pirouette.
works.
Do a pirouette.
That falls just ahead of the knees. Those are perfectly fine.
Thank you. I think everybody just assumes my shorts are always short now. And I'm here for that.
It was just that one time
Hey, we could text.
you were basically wearing pajama shorts.
No.
Yes.
Were you looking?
Yes.
I think now people just want to assume.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's just
shorts.
become part
Yeah.
of your thing for
But
some reason.
straight up, yeah, like when you stood up, those are perfectly normal. In
Chris
fact,
says shorts seem fine. Yeah.
I sent that back.
Oh, you said that back.
I said that
oh,
because
thank
I
you.
also wanted to just take a test to see if our texting was working because it wasn't working.
Well,
on
you guys
Friday.
have the texting on your phones, eh?
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Yeah, if you're gonna want to text people now, I think you're gonna need it.
You do text people back?
No, usually Jay handles that.
I do.
during
I like
the show.
texting people back.
But Friday, yeah, we had the issue where it popped up and said on the desktop you couldn't do it. You had to do
Yeah.
it on your phone. And then on the phone, we weren't allowed for a little bit. So clearly they have fixed that.
They fixed it.
I have not gone on the emails to go look at their responses to me and things like that. But that's the small stuff that no one really cares about. EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transition. Right now, 50% off all units, limited time. It's also Nasty Bash Week. As Friday will be at the St. Albert Rugby Club. Reid Wilkins show will be done live from there 3 to 6. However, from 4:30 to 5:30, as well as post game, there will be the Green and Gold kickoff and post game shows with myself and Jay Milne.
Yeah, that's
as
going to be
well.
incredible. So, what are we projecting the game on? Do we have large screens?
They have
Is it the same? It's the same room as last year.
Yeah, they have a big projector. I remember a couple years ago watching a CFL game there. We didn't really watch anything last year. But yeah, Fergie said they'll have it on. So we'll be able to watch
Oh, yeah,
the
we
game
need to have
fully
it on
stuff.
because you guys got to be note taking and ready to go.
Potentially.
You should.
Well, if the game could get out of hand, where then all of a sudden it's just like, well,
True, but
Wow.
okay, so question for you then. What do you guys what do you do, if anything? If you just remember everything, that's fine. What do you do for notes during the football game?
I do have a sheet of paper that I will fill out for certain big moments that I feel like,
Right.
but often I am actually really good at just memorying.
Okay.
I know where I want to I remember those things. And then I have the whole CFL back end website up so I could find the play I'm looking at and I could run through the whole play from the stat book.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because for Oilers games, and I still do it, So I didn't do regular season road games because I wasn't going on with you.
Oh yeah, right.
But for Oilers, I just have a scribbler, and you could find every game, the lineup going in, and then the next page would be highlights of things I would think to talk about, or stats I would note down, or key moments.
Yeah.
So, a breakaway, or I wouldn't do penalties unless it was like
Dumb play or
like
something.
a puck over glass or too many men or something that led to a 5-on-3. But I would do all the goals, so I would write a G for the goals so I could find it better later. The time on the clock, the goal. If it was an Oilers goal scorer, I would put down what number goal it was for him for the season. I wouldn't do that for the other team. And then I would put the score after the goal, and then I would put like the time as they recorded on the game sheet, the time into the period. And then other stuff I would just write down, key plays or moments or saves or weird things that happened, or things I thought that either Rob would talk about, or now what things I might want to talk about with Tom.
You just yell at me on the air. It's fun. I love it.
Yes, I do.
Jay does quite a bit of notes. He's more of filling out a sheet and writing it out. I'm more memory with the website. Because the CFL backend website, I don't know if you've ever used it or anything. It's really nice.
Well, I've used CFL Connect. Is that what they do during games? They have a live
Well,
feed?
that one, yeah, you go in there and it's all that there. And you can go live play-by-play. You can go drive summary. There's just various things. And then there will be a post-game stats package, which is a little more in-depth for certain things that will come. Usually it's about 20, 30 minutes after a game ends, it comes into the inbox.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
so then like that one has like at times will be like, what is the second down conversions broken down? 1 and 4 yards, or 1 and 3 yards, 4 and 6 yards, 7+ yards. So like that first game against BC, I was like, well, I'm really excited to see what that percent is because they break it just right down for you.
Okay, so you don't have to keep track of all that kind of stuff.
No.
So when they, so the CFL is interesting, right? Because you could have a one play 45 to 50 second drive,
Yeah.
because the clock, until before the final 3 minutes, the clock starts when the ref puts time in. So you get 20 seconds when the ball's, you could snap it with a second left, so that's be 19 seconds. You could have a 109-yard play that takes 20 seconds with a guy running around, and then before the final 3 minutes, the clock runs on the convert, right? So you could have technically 30.
Does it really?
It does run on the
Yeah,
convert.
before the final 3 minutes, the clock, when they wind it, right?
Yeah.
When the ref says time
He
in,
has to
it'll be
whistle in the
stopped
play.
after the touchdown.
Yeah.
He whistles it in.
I didn't realize that.
There was a Geno touchdown week 1 years ago, like against the Riders. I don't know if you remember that one. It was like 100 and some yard play, like his first game with the Elks.
Oh, that one against
Yeah.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I wanna see if I
Corey
can
threw it down the left sideline, and he caught it in front of the Elks bench.
That's right.
Ran for a
I
touchdown.
want to see which game that was because I could try to see.
Might have been 22.
That was Geno's
22 was
first
out
year.
in BC.
Maybe it was 23. Was it?
23? It's not showing up on 23. It couldn't be 24.
No.
Let's go back to 22 here. Week 1. Edmonton was BC.
Maybe it was the home opener, not the season opener.
You're right.
Right. Against Sask?
Yeah.
That was the guaranteed win night, wasn't it? With the free tickets.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh,
that
of
was-
course.
It might have been the one that ended with the fail from the one.
That's the one.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
Kai Loxley.
No, that one would have been
That was home.
23.
There's so many now.
That was 23 because that was the last pregame show I ever did at 1260.
Oh, and then it got shut down.
And then the next week they
few
went to
weeks
BC,
later.
but that was the first game I watched in many years.
Okay.
So this is okay. Well, 22, the CFL stat page doesn't work.
Anyway, I don't know
not
how
there.
I got on this tangent. Sometimes that happens when I'm on air, Tom. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
That's why you're perfect for the hang.
But that's one of the interesting things about the clock in the CFL is, it can run quite freely, and then in the final 3 minutes of each half, it's like impossible to kill the half,
Yeah.
almost impossible. And the interesting thing about the CFL, so if there's a running play and a guy is tackled, the clock inbounds, the clock keeps running, but the 20-second clock is
still
non-existent till they set
ref
the
snaps
ball.
it or
In the
whistles it.
NFL, as soon as the guy is tackled, they start the 40-second clock.
40's
So-
always running.
Right.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, if the players could teleport to their positions, they could snap it immediately. Where the CFL has that time. So that's how. Because people always say, well, the CFL game, the pace is faster because of the 20-second clock. I think that's a fallacy. because it's still about 30 to 40 seconds between snaps in both leagues. It's just the CFL has some dead time where technically you couldn't snap the ball because it's not ready to go.
Right. Good point.
I mean, players aren't rushing around.
You'll never see a ball snap with 35 seconds left on the play clock almost in the NFL. Like if it's they're moving down the field because it's impossible for the ref to go get that ball. And
so that's
there.
why the time between snaps is about the same.
Yeah.
Even though one has a 20-second clock and one has a 40-second clock.
Yeah, they work about the same.
Yeah.
But it's that final 3 minutes, that's where it's very different. Because that snap, that's not blown in until the whistle though goes because the play clock's not running.
Right. So because even on a running play, on a play in bounds, they'll start it, so you can still take off 20 seconds before the snap, but you don't have that dead time.
Yeah.
And then on incompletes, it's
all
nothing. We're out of bounds. It's just nothing. Yeah. And also, I learned this a few years ago. It's been a rule for a while. In the last 3 minutes of a half, if a ball carrier goes out of bounds and is running towards his own end zone, they stop the clock for the first stoppage, but then they'll wind it when the ball is set. So if I have the ball and I'm running towards you, Matthew, it's like, oh, crap, he's going to tackle me in bounds. So I pull a U-turn and go backwards a couple of yards and run out. They'll be like, no. You have to be going towards the other team's end zone.
So like forward motion, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
So then what will happen on the game clock?
So, they'll still stop the clock.
Okay.
Because on the play ends, but then they'll set the ball and then they'll wind the 20-second clock and the game clock together.
Oh, then it gets going again.
Right, even though it was out of bounds. If you go out of bounds on your own towards your own end zone,
You get penalized.
because the guys, I think guys were like doing that to stop the clock. So, I'll just
So
run
you could take
backwards.
like 2 steps back, but then quickly take 1 step forward.
Yeah, it
then
doesn't
they would have
happen
to
very
stop.
often.
Yeah,
I remember it
Because
happened.
now
though-
you're moving back
Right.
forward.
I remember though it happened in an Elks game, like I
don't remember that.
It was years ago. Maybe it was before 2020 even. A Calgary guy ran kind of like a curl along the sideline, and it was underthrown, and he caught it in motion, and he couldn't stop himself, and he
So he
just
just
went
kept
out of
going.
bounds, and they were like, no, wind the clock, because he was going back towards his own end zone.
I like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a good one.
That's like a subtle little rule, and
Yeah.
I've rarely seen it enforced, but
But you're encouraging going forward and marching
Yeah.
towards the end zone instead of, I like that. Good. That's a good one.
The CFL did change the rule where I'll give them some credit is if you fumble it into the end zone, you still maintain possession, I believe.
yeah, I can't remember how those work.
Because that used to, and the NFL has not changed this, I don't believe. And the CFL
Isn't that a
used to have
touchback?
it. Before it would be a touchback, it'd be
Yeah.
a fumble the other way. Even if the other team doesn't gain possession,
Right.
if the other team doesn't touch, like in the CFL, you could just touch it and go to bounds. Well, I guess if the CFL touches it, it's your ball at that
Yeah.
point. But if you fumble it and it goes dead ball into the end zone, in the NFL now, I believe that's a touchback, turnover on downs. CFL, they place it at the 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
I
It
believe
rarely
they
happens,
changed
but
that
yeah.
rule and added it back to the 1.
Okay.
Because there was a game a couple weeks ago when Cole Speaker against who did the Owls beat? They had a big comeback when Davis Alexander got hurt again.
That was against
I forgot who it was.
BC? No,
No.
BC won that game.
That
in
was the week
Montreal.
after something. But anyways, so he fumbled Speaker before the end zone. The ball went into the end zone and they recovered. Was it Toronto? Might have been Toronto. But they recovered the football. But they were talking about if that ball had gone through the end zone, Montreal would have got the ball at the 1.
So
I
if
think they
it bounced
changed
out
that.
through the side,
if it just
or
kept
to the
rolling
back,
and no one touches that, then it's Montreal's
the,
football.
off the attacking
but they don't get a
team's
touch or
ball.
anything. But it goes to the 1. Whereas I always thought, that makes
Should
if-
go to
if-
the point of the fumble, but that probably would be the 1.
But it's if you fumble and it goes out at the 3, it's your ball. The fumble, it goes to the end zone. It's turnover on turnover. I just
Right.
never understood that.
Yeah.
and that's what I believe. This still is the case in the NFL, where if you fumble it through the end zone, you lose the ball.
The other team I think gets it at the 20.
Yeah, which I just find weird.
Well, that's the beauty about football. There's so many little. It's the most rule heavy sport of the big 4 anyway. I mean,
yes.
I guess baseball's there are odd occurrences in baseball, but
Baseball's much more.
but football has so many technicalities.
Yes.
About how you can line up and who can move and who can't move.
The subjectivity of what is and isn't a catch,
yeah,
right?
PI.
PI, that's another one.
yeah.
and then you could go based on the leagues. Like, I haven't dove much into youth sports, so I don't know how different it is from the CFL. But NCAA is different in many ways to the NFL. And obviously those two leagues are different than the CFL.
Well, they have. I can't. Yeah, I don't know everything very well, but I remember when I used to cover high school football. Like on a kick, I think the worst you can start is your own 25. Like even if you were kicked off and tackled
At the 5?
at the 5, I think you always at least get it on your 25 to stop. Like if there's a really bad team or one team has a good kicker, they're always hem deep. So something like that. Somebody will know. And I think U Sports might have something like that. Well, and now, the NFL does it now too. You can fair catch a kickoff even in play, can't you? And just get it on the 25 or 30, wherever they're putting it now.
What do you mean in play? Like in the...
Can't you just, well, maybe now with the new kickoff rules, maybe it's different. I thought they had that for a year or two.
I thought in the NFL you could always fair catch.
Yes, but you'd get it where you can fair catch a kickoff, but I thought they changed it. If you fair catch a kickoff at your own 5, you still get it at the other mark.
It does ring a bell.
Yeah, but I think the NCAA has that for sure.
So you just, no matter what, it's at the 25 or 35, whatever.
In the NCAA, it's as soon as your knee touches the ground, you're down. It's not where you touch by the defender.
Yeah.
You're down. They still have the further kickoff or field goals. Or no, closer field goals, not the further back. Like extra
they
points.
do the chip shots?
NCAA.
Oh, yeah, they still
They're
do
still
a 20-yard.
close.
Yeah, they do a 20-yard extra point.
The play stops when they have to move first down chain. So if you're late in a game and the running back runs for 5 yards and it's 2nd and 5, clock keeps running. But if he runs for 11 yards and they have to, the clock stops until they reset the first down chain.
They still have that?
And then the clock gets going again. So and that's what's interesting. Like the NFL, NCAA, CFL, like there's just so many different, pretty significant rules differences.
Right. Well,
across the board.
Even if you look at, like, if you were teaching someone, if you're someone new to football was watching with you, and an offensive lineman got in the CFL illegal procedure or in the NFL a false start, and that person said to you, "Why was that guy penalized?" Well, you can't move until the ball is snapped. But the defensive players can run around.
What are those guys
You've got the
doing?
wide receivers in the CFL just moving around and running to the line.
Well, and even in the NFL, one guy can go parallel to the line.
Now
right?
they're doing that.
I thought they got rid of that. Or I thought they were trying to they did something to outlaw the attempt of a waggle in the NFL. I thought.
Oh, did they?
Because a lot of teams were starting to do that.
Dolphins were doing it quite a bit.
Yeah, but there's nothing to stop a guy from, that's what they were doing with Tyreek Hill. He would just sprint as opposed to just like, I'm going to jog just to check the defense. He would sprint and then cut on the snap.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Well, they're always trying to find ways to break the rules. Did you remember that? It was either this was probably 10 years ago, either the Ravens or, I can't remember if it was the Ravens or the Patriots. They might have been playing each other. They lined up. They had like the center, the guard, and then the tackle was further out, and the fullback lined up in between them, but back from the line of scrimmage. So he looked like an offensive lineman, but he was eligible.
Patriots
And then
versus
they ran him
Ravens.
out. Right, and then they ran him out.
It was a playoff game, and I remember the Ravens upset because they don't feel like it was properly explained to them what was happening on the play, that the ref didn't announce it or something properly.
Right, but really they did.
And so they didn't know.
Because he was in the backfield. He just was back a little bit from the line.
do remember
but if you're a
that.
defensive player looking at that, it looked like sort of a normal offensive line.
There was a John Harbaugh Ravens. He did it in the Super Bowl. It never was caught. And then he did it one year against the Bengals, and then finally was caught. At the end of a game, they punted to kill clock. He told all of his players to hold every player.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
right.
and the punter just held the football for extra long and then kicked it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then it was like, because what happens if you get called for the holding penalty? Well, clock still runs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was like they were able to kill the clock a little extra. Now they've changed the rules. I can't remember how they've changed the rules for something like that. But he did it in the Super Bowl. And a lot of people weren't paying attention to that one in the Super Bowl. They just saw it the end because he punted from his own end zone. But there was a lot of holding calls on that play.
Yeah.
And they just got to kill extra clock.
Yeah,
and
just
then they took a
tackled it,
safety, did a kickoff, won the Super Bowl.
Smart.
Well,
Using the rules to your advantage.
I've often wondered in the NHL. Now, I think Mac T or somebody said the Rangers did it against the Canucks at the end of the game 7 in '94. That because there was like a 2 seconds left on a face-off in the Rangers' end, and they said just hold, just grab. Like I don't know why teams don't do that more often. In
Mac
the
T
NHL.
was taking that face off for the win. Yeah.
I think him and Kalo or Messier said okay, but
Just tackle everyone.
just tackle or just the center, just grab the other guy's stick.
Yeah, just hold him. Whatever. Let
Puck
the-
gets dropped.
Yeah, puck
and then
gets
all
dropped.
of a sudden, hand goes up, clock ticks.
Don't
Game
touch
over.
it. I mean, they'd
Game
probably
over.
just start blowing it dead, but you can't. I don't know what they would do with that.
They would try to put a rule into place.
They could say any defensive zone penalty in the last 5 seconds of a 1-goal game is a penalty shot or something like that. Or you have the choice of a penalty shot.
I don't like knee-jerk reactions. Like
The
somebody...
Sean Avery in front of Martin Brodeur.
Yeah.
That was a knee-jerk reaction.
It totally was. But like you read the rule book, like Harbaugh did, or Jason Moss with the resetting of the downs, and you're like, oh, wait a second, we can do this. And you do it, and everyone goes, whoa, you can't do that. And then the team goes, yes, it's within the rules. And everyone cries foul, and they have to change. I hate that.
Did they change the Montreal punt thing?
They have
still
not.
do that.
2
You can
straight
still
years
do
they
it.
have not touched it. I love it.
But they didn't do it.
Somebody's done it this year, I believe.
Oh, did they?
Or was it last?
I know they did
I
it
thought
last
someone
year.
did
But
it
you
last
still have
year,
to be
or this
careful.
year.
You have
You
to
can
make
lose
sure
the
the
ball.
guy has time to do it.
Yeah.
So he has to punt it across the line of scrimmage. So you have to throw a pass
You basically have to have
into
almost
the
a Hail
flat.
Mary,
Right.
and one guy
One
is
guy
just in the
stays back.
backfield.
And he gets to the line of scrimmage, kicks it a yard, and falls on it.
But if a defender is close enough, there's a risk because if you kick that poorly, a little too far, maybe the defender gets it.
You're screwed.
Or, maybe he tackles you in time and like scoop and score, whatever. There's a lot. There is some flaw to that if it goes bad. It could go really bad. But at the same time, if it's 2nd and 23. And I look in the end now, defenders are going to have to keep the DC's going to have to keep one defender closer to the line, and so there's no full coverage, which might actually allow for bigger plays.
Yeah.
I just when they're like, oh, we have to change that. Like, didn't they rebuke the tush push? Somebody wanted to outlaw it. A bunch of teams want to outlaw it.
I believe it's still legal.
Yeah.
I forgot who's
I'm
the one
good.
in charge who led the way of that.
I think wasn't
Weren't
it the Cowboys?
Packers against it? Or was it, okay.
Might have been the Packers were the main team.
Oh, maybe Packers.
They
yeah.
were the driving force behind it, I believe. The Dolphins, and there was certain teams. Dolphins voted with the Packers. There's only a few teams, but it's staying for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The teams that used the tush push all voted for it.
Well, who uses it a
go
lot
for it.
besides Philly?
Ravens do it with tight end Mark Andrews.
Oh, right.
The Bills do it a bit. Bills have done it a bit as well. So
Well, it's hard to stop, isn't it?
Yeah.
actually, the Ravens had some success stopping against the Bills in the playoff game last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Didn't win them a football game. Bills still won.
True.
I'm not sore about that.
Well, how about this text? It says, I was at the game on Saturday, had to explain the Cody Grace recovery and Bo Levi Mitchell's punt to people. Cody Grace, bad punt, good heads up play.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we don't see that more. I remember they used to always happen. Punters would just bolt down the field.
Well, we had him on the hangout
Yeah, I
a
feel
few
like
weeks
there
ago
were
and talked about
closer
that.
calls, maybe, but
The Bo Levi one, I didn't get why he punted.
The long snapper was hurt.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting
Right.
outside,
at
I'm like, hey,
BP's
I've
and
got
there was
an
no
update.
sound on for that game.
Yeah.
And so I
the-
was trying to follow along.
And Grace recovering that can only happen in the CFL.
Yes.
You will see a quarterback kick in the NFL.
Yeah.
A couple times. Didn't Brady kick?
Yes.
Didn't Brady kick once?
It's like the one
Punted?
step.
Yeah. Just try to catch them. Now,
Yeah.
the thing is, in the NFL, you can't recover that. In the Hamilton case, they could have had onside receivers
You could have
recover the ball.
yes.
Yeah.
But the Elks player was smart, just kind of to catch it.
And the punter is the only one that is always onside.
Right.
So the
and
punter could always go grab it.
anybody behind the ball, which is the punter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why on kickoffs, everybody can recover it because they all start behind the ball.
Yeah.
But what was so they didn't have a long snapper.
The long
So is
snapper
that why
was
they
hurt.
went for the 3rd and 8?
Yes.
Yes.
I was very confused why they were going for 3rd and 8.
Because the long snapper was like, it was Verisuk and what's his name? Gordon White, I believe is the long snapper's name. They were in and out of the tent.
And that's
for
a big
20
deal.
minutes.
Because I remember there was a Monday Night Football game to start the year in like Oakland. This was probably 10 years ago now. And their long snapper got hurt. and the guy that came in and tried doing it struggled mightily. Like it was just awful. And that was when I learned how important that long snapper is. That not anyone can just the center can't just go in and do the long snap.
No.
It is a very different skill set. That's why that was a crushing 3rd and 8.
But
It was.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, Hamilton did punt late eventually, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a backup. I think it was a Hoyt that was the backup long snapper, but I don't know if he wasn't ready or they weren't sure. It was because their long snapper got hurt, and they were trying to get him back out there, but he messed up his left shoulder, and he's like, no, I can't. And they had grabbed a lineman, and they had him push up against. No, they had Versic grab a lineman and push up against the lineman. His back was killing him. And then the other guy took off his pads, the long snapper, and he's like, my shoulder's messed up to the point where he couldn't snap the ball.
So that 3rd and 8 was. Do you guys remember?
It ended up being like a 25-yard gain.
Yeah,
And that was
scrambled and found that guy.
Almost from a sack in a sense.
Yep.
But I'm just trying to remember.
It was a gut punch.
When that was.
I'm pretty sure it was 3rd quarter. Yeah, it was 3rd quarter.
Was it third? Okay, because
then.
then so Hamilton, the first possession was a punt in the 3rd quarter. Then they got a TD. Then they punted 3 times. But one of those would have been Bo's punt.
Yeah.
And then they would have had 2 more. But maybe I'm just wondering if that during the lightning delay, whatever it's called, maybe they were just practicing with somebody in the locker. Maybe that was a huge benefit for them where they just went in a hallway or something and had a guy and just snap, and got him ready to go. That's why they were able to punt afterwards.
It was a weird rain delay. Because there was nothing when Andre Proulx called it, and we're like, what? And then we're sitting there waiting, and I could hear the truck talking. They're like, yeah, maybe half hour, the league says. And then they're like, no, not until 4:20.
And that's because there was just a lightning strike within 10 kilometers?
Yeah, there was a whole, and it was all around the stadium.
Yeah. Well, I guess
TSN showed a nice picture of one of the clouds, which looked like basically a mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a nuclear bomb outside of Edmonton or something. That's how it looked.
Yeah.
But then there was... it didn't seem like there was anything really happening for a while.
But the south of the city got hit. Like my buddy lives in Ellerslie, and he said they just got pounded for about 15 minutes.
Well, downtown got hit too. I know.
It was like 5 to 10 minutes at the stadium, though. It wasn't even that bad. No.
Yeah, it rained. And it wasn't like torrential or anything. Then you heard thunder a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it was. There's 2 ways to look at it. It was frustrating because I know. Sure, we'll talk about it, or we have various shows to talk about it. Despite another disappointment for the Elks, it was a good game.
Yeah,
it had a lot of good flow. It was back and forth, and then plus, the Elks were right in it and had the ball when that happened. And you look up and it's like, what? There's nothing going on.
Yeah,
and I get that. 15, 20 years ago, there weren't weather delays or usually of this magnitude unless the lightning was right over the stadium.
This is CBA stuff, by the way, because people wonder. It's like,
it's not the Elks. It's not.
Yeah, it's not the league.
This is the thing. There's a difference between a questionable rule and questionable enforcement.
Yeah,
everything was enforced correctly.
Was it?
Well, I guess technically it should have been a tie.
Technically, it should have been a tie. Technically, because it did, and you tweeted about it, I know. The rule book does say if there's a delay longer than 60 minutes, and it's just after a certain point in the 3rd quarter,
yes,
the game should be considered official.
Right. It's
that
7
delay
minutes,
was
30
75
seconds.
minutes.
7 minutes, 30 seconds into the 3rd quarter is the rule.
Yes.
Wasn't it that?
Yeah, it was
like 15
like a
seconds
minute
left.
left. Yeah.
And it was one where that was a 75-minute delay. In theory, that or like if they enforced that to the T, that game should have ended in a tie.
But they were calling the players back, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't there's no end in sight.
And at the same time, I think that delay is more for the fact that like there's the Elks Bombers game where there was 2 delays. It ended
was a
after
6 hour.
12.
That was
I think it's
crazy.
more for the night. Like if it's an afternoon, you're saying like, well, we have lots of time to finish this.
Yeah.
So they might want to change the wording a little bit.
They
on
were
that,
saying,
but by the rule book, the Elks could probably maybe be like, hey, no, this should have been a tie.
Yeah.
well, good point. But they were saying in my headset, they're like, we can go up to 3 hours of a delay.
Which is not what their weather protocol states.
Maybe I misread
That's what they were saying
page,
to me from the truck. They're like, hey, it could go 3 hours.
I thought it said just an hour on that weather protocol website.
I'm on the weather protocol website. So
Maybe I
I'm gonna get
misunderstood
into
something, but that's
calling the game. If there's a stoppage greater than 60 minutes after the game becomes official at the 7:30 mark of the 3rd quarter, the game will be considered final. Before there's blah, blah, all the things, but that wasn't before. If the teams, so that's before too. So no, it does state.
That should have been a tie, but I think both teams just want to play, obviously.
Yeah, I think both teams probably like, why are we like it? This game started at 1. It's
I think
4
if
o'clock.
it would have been a torrential downpour with
Yeah.
a ribbon of thunderstorms coming through.
Right.
But I think once they're on the verge of starting it, and I guess you could say once they're warming up, well, it's no longer
Yes.
delayed.
It's true.
If you're looking for
Yeah.
a technical.
But yeah, but if that game starts at 7, that delay's happening closer to 10 o'clock, 9:30ish.
Yeah.
You wait an hour, it's 10:30ish. If you're waiting
Right.
longer, I understand. Where then at that point you're going, okay, we got to call this at some point. So they just might need to re-advise that and work that out a little bit.
Good point. Get that language, verbiage proper.
Clausen says the problem with the Lightning was that there were pulse storms, quote unquote, that were popping up and not really moving much. New storms were firing on the outer edges of existing storms. Had it been a line of storms moving in a distinct direction, they probably could have played sooner once the storms have passed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's just little things popping up.
Speaking of what Josh brought up there, one of the camera guys showed me his weather app, and it showed the lightning map, and it was just like the city of Edmonton, and then all these storms around it, and it was like lightning, 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 and I'm like, oh my god, that's a great app, but it's just like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah. Well, I think just Larry Thompson needs to build a
Retractable roof.
35,000-seat domed stadium.
Retractable roof.
Retractable roof.
Retractable
It's
roof.
like, oh, there's lightning. Okay, give us 5 minutes to shut the roof.
I'm
And,
sure that's modestly priced. I mean,
Tommy wants 40, right?
I want 40.
I agree.
Yeah.
You want to be able to still get some concerts.
Yeah. That would be wonderful.
get the Grey. Well, they'd still get the Grey Cup.
They would still get the Grey
Yeah.
Cup. I don't know how Calgary got the Grey Cup this year. It's ridiculous. Or next year, pardon me. But
Because they offered more money.
Do we just have? Is BC the only domed stadium in the league now? And that's retractable now
yes.
Correct.
because Toronto doesn't play at
No.
Rogers
And
Centre,
Montreal
Sky
doesn't.
Dome, or whatever. it's
Although
called.
Montreal, they might, who knows, maybe they move back there once all the renovations are done.
Well,
are they renovating the Big O again?
yeah. They got
Which-
800 million
But it's kind of cost like $2 billion to tear down.
because of all the like infrastructure,
Concrete and all that.
train.
So it's actually more financial prudent to
Fix it.
to fix it up.
Try to get the Olympics again.
sure.
Get the
Well,
Expos,
they do. I
get the
believe
Expos
there's
back.
I believe
Sure.
Montreal and Toronto do eventually want to go for a Summer Olympics together.
Oh, they want to do a joint bid?
Yeah.
But
That's
Toronto's
been
going to need a
discussed a
better
little bit.
stadium.
That'll be interesting.
Well, not if you have the Big O, then
The Montreal would get track.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
could probably deal with it there.
Toronto
and
would
then
get
could
soccer,
do-
maybe, or both. They'd have something. Well, the what is it? The Impact in Montreal. They have. Do they play where the Owls play? I
No,
don't even know.
Montreal now. No, they play at the different stadium.
They have a different one?
Saputo,
Okay.
it's like
Oh, right, right,
20,000.
right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very simple stadium.
Yeah, I can't remember which Olympics now because 34 is going to Salt Lake. 36 is the next winter or summer is 36. And does it say anything about Canada?
Okay, so
Website?
God, I used to. I was talking about this with Jay though. Like I used to be so into the Olympics when I was a kid, and now I'm so detached. Like I would know where they're all going to be and who's bidding. So this February is Italy.
Yeah.
What is it?
Milan Cortina.
Then 28 summer is LA.
Correct.
Which will be
Yeah.
the third time LA hosts.
Yeah.
What's 2030 winter?
It's France, if I'm not mistaken.
We're going back?
I'm pretty sure it's France.
And is
Yeah, French
20
Alps.
is 2032 summer selected?
Yes,
Who?
Brisbane.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. Okay.
sick. That'll be fun.
And then 2034. Is that picked already? Did you
Yes.
say that's Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Well, then
Really?
Vancouver should get another one then.
So then, well, but it's so 36.
Weren't the Vancouver Olympics one of the most successful Olympics ever?
They were one of the few that ever turned a profit, I believe. But yeah, because they well, one thing they didn't have to build BC Place, and they
Right.
didn't do the retractable roof till after.
Yeah.
Right.
So that 500 mil or whatever came later. It does say from an article I found in 2021, so things obviously will have changed, that Toronto, Montreal, we're looking at potential 32 or 36 Olympic bid. So I wouldn't be like, I could see them possibly trying for that because Toronto's tried for the summers a few times.
Right.
I think the last one they went for and they lost out was 08, the Beijing one.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then Vancouver got 10, so kind of was like, well, you can't go for it for a while now, but we're constantly now just going to the countries that have the money to go do it, and they have
Yeah, I
no
wonder if there's
problem.
going to be more repeat venues.
be a
It'll be
lot
like
more.
a kind of like the U.S. Open and British Open kind
Yeah.
of use the same golf courses over and over again.
We always joked, or not joked, I shouldn't say that word, but JMO and I would always discuss the idea of would the Olympics ever like go to like permanent facilities, and you do something where like swimming's always held at this one venue and it's around the world and it's a global
I see.
thing. You're going to lose the Olympic Village, you lose all that, but you just put funding into specific venues around the world as
Right.
opposed to constantly
So
redoing
Rio
venue.
always has swimming or something.
And we're watching across the
Oh.
country for 2 weeks. Okay, let's go to swimming. Now it's in Rio. Let's go to gymnastic over here in
So like
Italy.
satellite
Time would always
Olympics,
be different, but yeah.
full
basically.
satellite.
That's
Olympics,
interesting.
same thing.
Yeah, I get it.
Because there was a point where no one was bidding almost. When
Yeah.
China got their most recent winter, it was them and Kazakhstan, I think, were the only 2 bids for that Olympics. No one wanted them. Like there was a point everyone was like, not
The cities
spending
were
money.
just losing
We're
money.
not spending money
Right.
on this.
Yeah.
I don't know what's changed where now everyone's wanting to get in again. Like big cities with the big countries with the money and all that. But there was I remember that one I was like, ooh, this is very, IOC's in an interesting
Desolate.
spot where
Yeah.
things could fall apart on them a little bit here.
Well, I know Calgary was talking about getting back in there, but apparently, apparently like the bobsleigh track is obsolete. The ski jump is obsolete. A lot of that infrastructure would have to be completely rebuilt. I don't know how, I'm assuming there are Olympic ovals still in use. I would,
But a lot of stuff now, I don't know how much is moved to Vancouver to a degree because
well, those are
got
new.
a lot of those
yeah,
facilities
I
and those
think a lot of it
renovations.
shipped. Although they built that wind sport, which is it's basically like Terwilliger, but with Winter Olympic specific training. Maybe some summer stuff too, but that's essentially what wind sport is. I remember Ryan Leslie. You know Ryan Leslie? He
Yeah,
was like,
sort of, yeah.
I was there for the 2014 Winter Olympic. It was like a summer training camp for they invited like 45, 50 guys, and Everly and Hall were there for Team Canada. And it was at Winsport. And I remember I did a hit on Sportsnet, and Leslie's like, Tom, what do you think of that beautiful new facility that we've got here in Calgary? I was like, yeah, it's great. He goes, you don't have anything like that in Edmonton, do you? I'm like, well, it looks just like the Terwilliger Rec Center, except instead of an extra rink, it has like Winter Olympic specific training facilities. And I think I stumped him. I was like, yeah, that's good, but we have that. We built that a few years ago. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But nah. Cute. Good try, Calgary. Good try.
I'll be fascinated to see their new rink situation. It should be pretty nice down there for that at least.
It should be.
But I would assume we're also going to this ways for some things. But I would assume if Calgary ever wanted back in, which the last time there was a referendum, the city voted it down. I think you'd need Edmonton involved, or you would need a second.
What
city.
would we have up here?
No idea. Or you would
Cycling?
or you would need.
Well, we have the new thing.
Or
the
you would need
cycling track.
Vancouver. You'd have to be like I
Yeah.
would assume a Vancouver, Calgary, or Calgary Edmonton type bid.
Yeah, I wonder if they'd be reluctant to do that, though, have cities that far apart.
Well,
Like,
The last Olympics was
Fiji.
Fiji and France.
Yeah.
Paris and Fiji.
They did the surfing in Fiji.
Oh yeah, and
As
wasn't
the one
yeah?
of
There
that.
was some other Olympics that the yachting or the surfing was somewhere else besides the
Yeah.
Well, and LA has softball in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City's
it
getting
is.
some.
Oh really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's some really weird stuff.
LA
happening.
one has a little bit of a distance to it as well. And then Lake Tahoe's getting some stuff, is it? Or
I think so. Yeah. Well, like Vancouver had Whistler too.
Yeah.
Whistler was.
Oh, true.
And
had a
that
bunch
was
of
the
stuff.
getting that highway, I think, twinned or whatever. That was a big
Yeah.
priority for getting the Olympics. Because
Yeah.
they had to make that easier to get there.
The France host is just listed as the French Alps.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where I wonder,
For
like, okay, it's only
2030.
like 2.5 hour difference. Flights, it's not that far. Could you do a Edmonton, Calgary? But Edmonton would need different facility. Like, I don't know if we have the full facilities for a winter.
Oh, but here's the thing: you only need hockey games. Calgary can have all the skiing and bobsleigh and luge. Rogers Place gets the gold medal game.
No.
That's all anybody cares about.
Yeah, that's true.
Calgary would not jump on board with that.
Yeah.
If they're getting all the other events,
Yeah, they would want the
they could get
marquee.
Canada. They could get
Well, who
Canada
gets
in the pool
opening
play
ceremony?
or whatever.
Edmonton would have to have opening ceremonies. They don't have a facility for it.
No, they do not.
It'd have to be Commonwealth.
Even watching.
In February,
Yeah.
Well, otherwise it's McMahon in February.
That would suck. Both of those options suck.
Apparently it was, I remember Scott Johnson telling me this. I don't think it came out until after the fact in Vancouver. I think, was it John Furlong, the guy that was kind of the head of their committee?
Yeah.
I think he was doing some rap, or maybe he came to Edmonton to speak or something. And he said they considered having the hockey gold medal game in BC Place, but they couldn't have it and then have the closing ceremonies right after, like the turnaround. It wouldn't work.
That would have been wild.
That would have been crazy.
that's the same
They
day.
would have sold it out.
Yeah.
And then even without Canada being in it, which they were, they would have sold it out just on the fact that Canada might be in it.
I was at the Heritage Classic at BC Place. Not great.
It is not an outdoor hockey game.
No. It was not
Yeah, I don't
great.
think I even watched a second of that one. Was that the Ottawa Canucks?
That's
Yeah.
the one that cost them Luongo, basically.
Yep. Cass took warm
Did
up.
he ever play another game?
I think got traded.
With
They
Canucks?
They booed. I think it was Tortorella. Was it Alain Vigneault still the coach at the time? Anyway,
remember.
it was not great. My buddy Tony, he's a huge Canucks fan. Him and his wife were supposed to go. Alicia got sick, and then Tony called me like 2 days before. He's like, "You want to hop on a plane to Vancouver and come to the Heritage Classic?" And the Oilers had played the night before, and I was like, "Yeah, actually, I can make that work." So I did, and just to go to a Heritage Classic, it wasn't great. It was sterile. That's how I would describe it. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, and it's not an outdoor hockey game.
No.
They had a glorified major hockey game, big stadium.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to
No one
describe
could
it.
ever say, because that roof was closed.
Yep.
Because Majot also was that one. And
They
that's
closed it before the game. It was open for a bit.
which then it eliminates it being an outdoor hockey game.
Yeah.
That was an entire indoor hockey game just in a big venue.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Vancouver. You couldn't even do an outdoor hockey
Well,
game.
that's what they're going to do with the Miami one here, the Stadium Series or Winter Classic. They're doing a couple outdoor ones. Doesn't Tampa have one
Yeah, where's the Miami one, though?
at Marlins Ballpark?
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. That's coming up. I'll double check it. But
I just watch those ones now because I just want to see how bad the ice gets.
Oh, jeez.
I just want to see when's the NHL going to play. How's that? And also, just fascinated if they could play it through in Tampa and all that. But I truly just don't care about this.
So this Cortino d'Ampezzo, I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly, was supposed to host in 44. That was one of the ones canceled by World War II. Then it did host in 56.
The one going to like the Milan.
The one that's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't
Milan.
have Milan for the past ones.
So this is a redo from many.
Well,
decades
no,
ago.
they got the 44 games like they then got in 56, I guess. But
But who are the other bidders? Because like I feel like if anything, the winters are struggling more than the summers.
Summer Olympics have more cachet.
They do.
much more. Well, the Winter Olympics is a hockey tournament with a bunch of quirky little events.
And it's not the world.
Bring back ski dance. That's the solution.
Was it a medal event once?
A couple times.
It was
Calgary and Albertville.
Yes, but it wasn't official Olympic events.
I think it was
there were
test
yeah,
event.
things like that.
Yeah.
So it was Stockholm and Sweden. Stockholm it was them in Milan.
Okay.
They were the ones that wanted 26. I feel like French Alps, it was kind of just decided they get that one and Salt Lake gets the other one.
Right, because it says on Wikipedia that the IOC is having privileged dialogue with Switzerland for 2038. So it's like there's maybe not a voting process. It's like, okay, let's talk about your
There were no
viability.
votes for 30 for the French Alps. Like there were,
They
but
just
there was
got
no
it.
one else.
Right.
And I bet if I go to Salt Lake, I will see the exact same thing. It was just Salt Lake.
Yikes.
Yes, it was just Salt Lake. So like there was a deal done, but that's the, like I don't think people really want the winter like at all. Like there's not like a
bad.
big deal. So it's gonna be they're gonna go to like if you want it, you go talk to the IOC and you'll basically go get it.
It's kind of
Some are
sad.
different,
But that's because the costs have ballooned so much.
massively.
It's incredible. The Winter Classic is Rangers at Panthers. That traditional rivalry.
That's the New Year's Day game?
Yep. That'll. and it's
not
gonna-
New Year's Day
it's
anymore.
January
It's all
2nd.
Or whenever
Winter
it is.
Classic.
Yeah. Okay.
It will be played at Lone Depot Park in Miami. Rangers are 5-0, by the way, in outdoor games. And then you've got
That's actually a pretty good stat.
Yeah.
Good for them.
The Stadium Series or whatever
Stadium
it's called.
Series is happening, yeah. Navy Federal Credit Union Stadium Series will be played in Tampa. at Raymond James Stadium.
And that's Hurricanes?
So both the Panthers and Lightning are hosting an outdoor game.
That's right. It will be the Bruins at Lightning.
Now there's no. The last Heritage Classic was here
Correct.
Yeah.
in October of 2023. Right.
Correct.
And there's not another one.
They do
those
like
come
3-4
every
year
couple-
So who's the
rotation.
next team that's going to get one?
Well, everyone's got one.
Yeah.
Outside has Montreal.
No, but they've been in a bunch.
Have the Canadians hosted an outdoor game?
They have not, because Ottawa has it was the Centennial Classic. Edmonton 2 Heritage Classics. Calgary has played in 2. Remember, one was in
in
Regina.
Regina.
Winnipeg had Edmonton. Vancouver had Ottawa. And Toronto has had a few.
But Toronto hasn't hosted a Heritage Classic, have they? They played the Wings.
I thought they hosted it
in the Winter
in
Classic.
Hamilton, didn't they?
They had one in Hamilton.
Oh, there was one in Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, it was Edmonton in 03, Calgary in 11, Vancouver in 14, Winnipeg in 16, Regina in 19, Hamilton in 22 for Toronto.
And was it Leafs Sabres?
no,
but it was
Sabres-
a Buffalo home game.
Yes.
It was actually a Buffalo home
I
game,
just seen
but it
that.
was a Leafs home. So Toronto didn't lose the home game
Yeah.
at their actual arena,
And
but
then
it still
Edmonton.
was a Leafs game.
It was weird.
So in theory, Toronto does actually, them and Montreal are the next ones on deck.
Well, Montreal, you would wait till Olympic Stadium's $850 million renovation is complete.
But it's
I
don't.
like the small ones, but they did in Vancouver.
Oh, true, but you don't like that. So
I don't.
You want to allow
It's
the
very
NHL to
sterile.
No, I mean, I find
They're doing
anything.
it in
I would
Miami.
only have. I honestly, if I was the NHL, I almost never have. Like a Heritage Classic would be like once every 5 years. Winter Classic would be once a year, and there'd be no other outdoor games. That's it.
Well, the Stadium Series is a cash grab. It's all
I
they
know.
make big bucks off of these
I
things.
I feel like they could have built this to be a TV event if they did one a year. Could be this massive spectacle TV event, but they instead went for the local gate revenue.
Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
build this as a local event. Let's send this everywhere so we can get a lot of gate revenue. And it's just lost its cachet that you don't.
100%.
I don't need to sit down and watch it. I remember when those first few came out, even if I was working like at Sears or something, I had to go watch Face Off or something because it's like, oh, if I miss this one, I've got to wait another 365 to watch the next one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big deal. And now it's but I also feel like you got to go to iconic venues. When it was at Lake Tahoe, it's like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it
like
was.
You're so, I
No
don't
fans though.
I don't care about
They
having
had people on
fans
the
at
boats
these
in the
events.
lake.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was weird.
Get into Central Park. Play on the
Yeah.
pond in front of Washington Monument and stuff. Like those things, I think, like no other league could really do that.
Yeah.
Baseball had the Field of Dreams game.
And they did the Bristol game this
Yes.
weekend.
So they're trying to do it. NBA can't go outdoors.
Well, the NCAA played a game on an aircraft carrier.
That
didn't
is
they?
did.
that's cool. But like there's like wind and stuff and like rain if it rains. But that I think that I remember seeing the images from that. I'm like, that is badass. Yeah. I mean, there's so many outdoor games now, I just forget most of them. Like they've had one at Dodger Stadium. They had
Yep.
one at the Air Force Base in Colorado.
Yes.
What else have they done?
But outside of that market, like you guys were saying, it's not a big deal.
No. Not anymore.
They did one at Cotton Bowl, didn't they? Nashville, Dallas.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah. That's when Corey Perry got kicked out pretty early.
They did one in Seattle.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
one
they
was
already
cool.
had
Vegas,
one, yeah.
Seattle, I think.
That one was cool. And the uniforms those teams used in that one were actually really nice. That was where they were throwing fish to each other as the Kraken were coming out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't even watch.
I watched that one. That one I was like, yeah, that's pretty neat. Well done.
Did they use Lumen or the baseball stadium?
Baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
Right. Okay. I can't remember what it's called now.
It's tough for them to use the football stadiums
T-Mobile,
because those
I think.
teams
Right.
are very protective of it because if they make the playoffs, you can't get it. They need that facility.
Oh, okay.
That's why sometimes it is a little tough to get. And that's why I think maybe they added a little bit of the stadium series is that pushed it back to get out of the NFL season to a degree. They went to Ohio Stadium, or are they going to Ohio Stadium?
They
Columbus.
played that last year, I think.
Was that last year? Because
Yeah.
that was a big one.
Yeah.
They wanted to go there for a long time,
Yeah.
and Ohio State blocked it for a long time.
And then they finally did it last year.
Finally got it done.
Carolina had one as well. Like
That's right.
It's you just say, yeah, okay, outdoor game this weekend, whatever. Who cares? The Heritage Classic here in 24 or 23 was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that. Remember that? Mm-hmm. That was a fun one.
was great time, and they are great for the city. It was a chance for the NHL, I believe, to have created a TV event, a must-watch TV event.
Yeah.
And I think they've dropped the ball on that no one gets excited as much about the outdoor game unless it's coming to your city. And it's something to go see.
Yeah.
I've been to both in Edmonton. They're awesome.
I've been to Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver. I went to 2 outdoor AHL games.
Oh, yeah, Bakersfield had one, didn't they?
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for that one.
You got in trouble?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Can you say?
Yeah, I can absolutely say. These Storytime clips seem to do well on our social media. Anyway, so the Condors are playing the Ontario Reign at Bakersfield University. It's like a 20,000 seat stadium, but it was a big deal for the Condors. And there was hype. It was sold out. Gretzky was going to be there. They had a charity alumni / celebrity game, which was really good. The guy from Bones was there. Mike Comrie was there. It was good. Like, it was honestly really good, but it got rained out, and it was raining so bad, like so bad. Like, there was puddles on the ice, and I remember I'm like, this is insane. Like, these guys, the puck is barely going anywhere, and they're like, no, we got to play it. We got to play it. And the second in command of the AHL, whoever Dave Andrews at the time, Dave Andrews before Scott Housen took over. He's sitting right beside me in the tiny little press box at this football stadium. And I looked at him, I'm like, hey, are you guys going to finish this game? Because, like, it's like a monsoon. Like, this is insane. There's nobody here. And the game was on, like, NHL Network, local TV. And the guy's like, well, coaches want to play, so we're going to let them play. I was like, this can't be safe. And so I took a video from the press box, and it was like 20 seconds, and you could see them like trying to skate around. And I wrote, start of the second period. And it went viral, like 1,000 retweets and thousands of likes and quote tweets, and it got picked up by like Sports Illustrated, ESPN, NBC Sport. Like, they're all like DMing me asking if they could use the clip. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And I actually went to my boss, Mark Ciampa, at the time, like, am I okay to post this? Because, like, this is kind of, right? And so he's like, yeah, that's fine. I got a call from Bill Scott the next day, and he goes, Tom, we got to talk about that video. I'm like, what video? He goes, the one from last night where it was the start of the second period and there was all that rain. I'm like, what's wrong with it? He goes, well, it doesn't make the league look good, and you know, maybe we shouldn't have played, but it's okay. Like, it's part of your job. You're the team reporter, but you know, we got to be more aware. And I was like, okay, but Bill, I got it cleared through my boss, and he gave it the thumbs up. He goes, you're not in trouble or anything. We got to address this. Kevin agrees, and he's talking about Kalo. I'm like, okay, whatever, like, fine. No, didn't think anything of it. I come back 2 days later, I got a meeting request from the VP of marketing. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And he's like, we need to talk about this video. And I go to him, and it's my boss in there with me too. I'm like, Ciampa, come with me, because I've got a bad feeling about this. And he shreds me for like 45 minutes. And I looked at him, I'm like, what's the problem here? Like, I'm doing my job. You sent me on this assignment. You sent my boss with me. And the assistant GM of the team is saying I'm not in trouble. The president of the team is saying I'm not in trouble. Why are you giving me crap? And he didn't like that, because I knew he was a phony and I was standing up for myself. And even my boss was like, he's like, this is well within the parameters of everything, all our social media practices and guidelines and this and that. And he didn't like that, obviously. And that was kind of the beginning of the end for me. But I remember him just like screaming at me for 45. I'm like, I'm doing my job, you idiot.
Yeah.
And I went to Bill Scott after. I'm like, Bill, I got in a lot of trouble. And he's like, you shouldn't have. I'm like, well, you can go tell the VP like to lay off, because he just tore me a new one and put that as a formal warning.
Wow.
And
You never told me that before.
Yeah, man. Like, it was the guy that was doing the job at the time was a total fraud. I mean, they fired him not long after, but yeah, he did a lot of damage to the branding and the marketing. Those crappy bright orange Oilers uniforms that they used starting in 17, 18, that's his brainchild. So Now he's somehow managed to get a job with another team and probably doing a terrible job with that franchise because he is not good at what he does. Small example.
Oh, you never told. So they didn't finish the game?
They did end up finishing the game. Griffin Reinhart scored the winning goal in the downpour. I remember going to Laurent Brossois. I'm like, LB, what'd you do with like your gear? He goes, he's like, I just started breaking in a new pair of pads, like a glove blocker, pads, chest protector. He's like, after the first period, I had to switch everything. I went to an old pair and they're basically waterlogged and toast.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And he's like, he's like, everything, you're just wet. It was so uncomfortable. It was brutal. It was a monsoon. And like the game was on NHL Network. It was on local Bakersfield station as well. And I remember asking the guy second in command, I'm like, is this safe? And he's like, well, both coaches think it is and they want to get it done.
Jeez.
Okay.
Sounds about right with coaches.
I think, yeah. That's too bad that happened that way for you. Because you didn't. I mean, if you would have posted like, "Wow, idiotic that they're playing in these conditions," and it's like, Tom, it's not your job to comment on what the franchise is doing. But and again, it was broadcast.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah, and I just wrote start of the second period.
Yeah.
Make of it what you will. And Bill's like, we got to address this. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you're not in trouble. You're fine. It's all good. You're just doing your job. And then I come back a couple of days later. I get a meeting request from that idiot. And sure enough, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, Kevin and Bill said it's fine. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. And here's the kicker. I phoned Ryan Holt with the Condors because like this VP of marketing is telling me like, you made the AHL look bad. You made the Condors look bad. And I was like, geez, like I didn't think so, but all right, I'm going to call and apologize. So I call Holty. I'm like, hey man, like I'm so sorry. I posted that and it got all these retweets. It was World Star picked it up or whatever that one huge account is. And I really apologize if I made anybody look bad. And he goes, what are you talking about? That was the best post you could have ever put out for us. Right. Are you kidding me? We were on international news because of you. And I'm like, so you guys aren't mad? He goes, no. He's like, why? Did you get in trouble? I'm like, yeah, big trouble. He goes, that is stupid. I'm like, welcome to my world, brother. Welcome to my world. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's sometimes the people who manage, and I feel like the brand has become an overused word. Yeah. Like, I hate it when people are like, I got to work on my brand. I'm like, what are you talking about? Just do your job and be good at it.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, yeah, they become overly sensitive to anything that, or they find ways to be like, oh, well, that could lead to a negative reaction. You know, it's like, well, okay, but it's not. It probably won't, and B, the person who is just showing what happened. Yep. I mean, look, it's not like you went out of your way to get some video that never would have seen the light of day.
It was on
that could have made an organization
broadcast.
Look bad. Like it was such obviously an overreaction by that person. Yes. But I mean, that's unfortunately sometimes how people react, or they're looking to blame somebody for just bad luck. You know, the weather was bad luck that day. Well, right.
That person was in over.
But if only Tom hadn't posted that, we could have told everybody it was perfect. And like it's absurd, but I think sometimes they get caught up. The hamster wheel is spinning in their own head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if there's a hamster in that wheel, you'd be lucky.
Official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend of 1952. Drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada. Enter your postal code to find a liquor store establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. This is the EST Hangout here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tommy, Reid, Matt with you here. Coming up at 11, we've got the lock shop. Two guys and a goalie today. It'll be Dusty and Tommy. EST Afternoons, Hernan and myself got EST Afternoons today. Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne. That's going to take you till 6 o'clock. The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Canada Storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transition. Canadian storage provider. Right now, if you go to sentinel.ca, you can find more details. You can find convenient locations nearest you, 50% off all units. That's just for a limited time. Again, sentinel.ca. Did want to quickly get back to the Elks game before we look ahead to the Owls game.
Sure.
How much longer does Julian Grant have with this franchise?
Oh my God.
He should have none. And I hate to say that because I'm not a big let's blame one guy and cut everybody and fire everybody. Like usually I'm like, well, okay, easier said than done. But that he's dropped 2 passes in the end zone.
2 in the end zone. He dropped another. He let a ball go right through his hands in Winnipeg.
That's the one I'm talking about.
No, there was another one in Winnipeg.
Oh, was there?
That a Trey threw it, and it was when you freeze frame it, his hands are in his head, like in front of his face, pretty much, or just maybe a little higher.
I thought that was the one in the end zone that hit him.
No,
that one hit him on the head.
Yeah.
There was 2 in Winnipeg. There was also last week he had a drop. Well, 2 weeks ago in Regina. The next play though led to a touchdown throw to him, so he made up for it on that. He
made up
next
for
play.
it in Winnipeg too. Remember, he scored the touchdown after. But
He
still,
did, but he still had 2 drops in that one. But that's 4 significant drops that he's had this season.
they would have won that game if he just hung on to it.
Yes.
You know how much of a boost that would have been to the fan base, to that team, everything.
He's hired to catch footballs, and he's got too many significant drops this year.
But he is Canadian, right?
Yeah.
But this team has a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
They are fine in the ratio aspect that they could make a change.
Yeah, disappointing. I mean, great throw by Fajardo. That was a Reid, a Tucker type of play, right? Right on the
Little
corner.
fade.
And Fajardo put it in a perfect spot. I mean, live, so I'm sitting in the seats, and I started to clap, and then it's like, holy crap, he dropped it.
Yep.
And then, I'm always like, okay, let's see the replay because, I'm up behind the Elks bench,
Yep.
3/4 of the
So
way
his back
up the
would have been
lower
to you
bowl,
there.
so they're way on the other side. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, would he been out of bounds anyway? Did the guy knock it away? Like you can't quite tell.
the
And
eyesight
then
or
they had the replay with the camera right there, and it's like, oh my god! But that's just mental. The guy doing that twice in the end zone in the first 7 games of the year. I mean, okay, is he worried about stepping out of bounds? Maybe.
Well, catch the ball
but
first.
you got to catch the ball, right?
Yeah.
At least have the ball, and then if it's your footwork, that still would have been disappointing. It was so deflating. And I always say I occupy a bit of a weird space with the Elks because obviously I talk about them and host a show, but I also am a season ticket holder and have been since '97, where I had no inkling that I might ever be sort of covering it. I mean, I don't cover them like I cover the Oilers, but I talk about them, and it's you interview people. It was just like from just a pure season ticket holder perspective, it was so deflating walking out of that stadium. Here's another way they found to lose. Like, just really a great game from a pure.
And they played a good game.
And if you didn't care who won, great game to watch.
Yes.
Action, good plays. Sure there were mistakes, but it wasn't like a real sloppy penalty fill. I guess there were penalties, but it seemed like way fewer than they took against Saskatchewan.
There were twists and turns.
Yeah,
long snappers.
Nobody was
hurt.
ahead by more than 7 points, and all that kind of stuff. But just walking out, it's like, my God, is it too much to ask for? And who knows? Hamilton would have had about 50 seconds to still drive to tie it or win it, and then maybe. I mean, Bo's still good as much as he's disliked.
Can I
probably around the league, even by some of his teammates.
Can I have a confession to make. I really like Bo. I've grown to respect him way more.
So have I.
I like him on. I'm very excited for when his playing career is over to see him on TSN.
When he goes
just
into
the Grey
so
Cup, he's fantastic.
He's
and I
so
want him on TV.
Yeah, but that's why he's hated, because he's good and he is so arrogant. But he backs it up. And I did it 2 or 3 years in a row on Mother's Day. I put out my mom's top 5 most hated athletes, and he was always on the list. Perry and Hyman were both on it at points too. And people, well, my mom brought it up, and occasionally a buddy or somebody might bring it up. I think it might have been 16 or 17. Yeah, because Riley only played half the year in 15. And then the next year, both Calgary and Edmonton were good, and both Riley and Bo were doing really well and had similar stats. And I had Bo on Inside Sports, and I started saying hey, you know what? It seems like you and Riley have sort of emerged as front runners for MOP. Do you pay attention? And he cuts me off. He's like, me. It's me. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay, you're pretty... He was like, look, we have similar stats. My team is ahead, and we've already won the game by the end of the third quarter. He's like, so I don't throw the ball for 4 quarters like Mike does. And it's like, okay, that's a fair comment. He's like, look at the last game. We're up 20 going to the third. I don't have to throw.
Yeah.
You know, I already had 280 yards passing at the end of the third. I finished with 310.
Yeah.
You know, Mike finished with 310 last game.
But he's throwing on the last play
But
of
they
the
only
game.
won by 4 points or whatever it was. That was kind of his example. But
I love that.
I remember talking because he used to do a show with Steinberg. He had like the Bo Levi show.
Yeah.
And I remember like, what's he like? And Pat's like, he's exactly like you'd expect. Like he's no shortage of confidence. He's the guy. But I mean, that's why he's good. But just from a pure talent standpoint, you saw it again in that game. He can make a variety of throws. He can escape. I mean, he's not a super scrambler, but he can escape and keep plays alive. And he makes a lot of throws that I think a lot of CFL quarterbacks don't make or try.
Right.
You know, like because when he was younger, he was one of those borderline almost good enough for the NFL guys.
Yep.
Right. Because he can make some of those back shoulder throws and things like that. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. Like he was I know there's a lot of talk about the drop and Edmonton not getting in from the 1, but he was a big reason Hamilton won that game because he kept, you know, some drives alive with some really big throws.
The 4 things that I point to for the lot, like getting stopped at the 1 twice. Short yardage is turning to be a problem again right now for this team. The drop. After the Cody Grace, not getting a first down or, 2-0 field goal.
They got 3,
You know, like that could have been a point where if you go put up 7.
You got momentum.
What a crusher that would have been too.
Right.
Because there was tied at that point. Also, Cody Fajardo's interception. He underthrew Dunbar a little bit. They
They
were
did double coverage.
but
he got
Dunbar
baited
had
in by the safety.
Dunbar was ahead. You know, and if he hits Dunbar over his shoulders, Dunbar's catching that football.
I think that safety's all over that. I'll have to watch it again, but I think that they baited Cody in. That safety knew he was coming
Dunbar
across.
is coming back, has to slow down and turn for that ball, whereas it needs to be the other way so he keeps running.
I
don't know if that safety
I
gets
think
at
worst
the very
case scenario
least,
gets knocked down.
Absolutely, but instead it's a turnover and it's going the other way and you're up by 3 at that point. And then Hamilton wasn't able to score. Now they got the momentum and that was their scoring drive.
Right.
That was a crush. That was a tough interception at that point.
Yeah, it was interesting because they didn't call a lot of deep shots either.
No.
And then they called that one where they had the lead. Like maybe I get the mentality. It's like, okay, let's try to end the game right there. But, then they took the deep shot on the drop where it's like, well, you don't have to score on that play, but that play actually worked. So, I mean, sometimes it's maybe a right play call and the execution isn't there. I was surprised they went deep on the one that got intercepted because wasn't it 2nd and 7 or something like that? 2nd and 6. I have to look back. But to me, if Jardo had a great game, but I think he got baited in. Like that safety was just waiting for that.
2nd and 6, their own 44.
Hamilton and Hamilton's don't they have the best takeaway ratio in the league? And their guys are ball hawks. So,
But that's where that ball has to be thrown better.
Yeah.
That is slightly underthrown.
I still think it's broken up or picked off.
Sure, but it's much different if it's knocked down as opposed to picked off.
Right.
Because he returns that into Elks territory.
That Woodson
really
was having
close.
a great game.
And it's a 3-point ball game, and they just need a field goal at that point, but they're feeling good. And then that's the game-winning drive for them, ultimately.
Right.
Or Wooden.
And even if you're punting, Hamilton wasn't able to move that football. There was a lot of straight punts there. And then that was their touchdown scoring drive.
Right.
So those are 4 moments for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was still a pivotal play, whether it was properly called or properly executed or whatever. It was still a pivotal play, for sure.
And if you get baited, it's make your bless.
Excuse me.
You got baited, didn't read their defense well enough, then I
Right.
guess.
Yeah. I just wondered, like, if that needed to be called when you needed 6 yards, and they didn't have trouble converting a lot of 2nd and 6s with the way he was throwing most of the game.
I liked what I saw from the offense in terms of play calling. It was more shorter. And just against Saskatchewan, they were trying to go too long, and that hurt the offensive line. That's where those sacks came from. O-line had a better game, and I wonder if part of that is because the game calling was a little bit better and got ranking going, got the run game going.
Yep.
It seemed like a much better game.
Well, and Fajardo got back into. I mean, he hadn't played for a while.
Yeah.
The game in Saskatchewan. I mean, he had a pretty good groove going. The running game was better, and I know they reeled off some nice ones.
Especially
I still think, I'll talk to Jay today. I still wondered, are they trying just to go up the middle too much? Do they need to vary it? They did a little more, I guess.
Was it them that had the end around? Or yeah, it's a Dunbar, right? They tried the end around.
Yeah, they faked
Early
one
on,
way and tossed it back the other
Yeah.
way.
Which they've done that. It plays like that this season. You need to add those ones in, though. But
Yeah.
But it's pretty obvious it's Cody's offense.
Well,
going forward
I
here.
really, I really wonder now if Ford is ever a number one quarterback in the CFL.
I know. It's too bad.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta try to win. Now I know he's got this contract and all the money and all this kind of stuff, but maybe he's just a good backup in terms of he's such a change of pace. Well, we're down 17 halfway through the third. Okay, Trey, go in there and create chaos or run around or try to reel off a big play and get them off balance. And then maybe we're still going to put the starter back in at some point. But it's just was crisper with Fajardo. It was just his release is a little quicker. I think his reads are a little quicker. They still lost, which I know is a big discussion point. But I think it's.
If they lose to Montreal, you can't just keep doing the same old, same old. You might as well switch it up.
See, I just
Season's done at that point.
But why put Ford back in to develop him at this point? There is more about the franchise than Trey Ford. I mean, he's become such a discussion point, which is great. He's exciting. I hoped he was going to make it and be potential. But the team does not exist to keep giving Trey Ford chances. The team exists to develop everybody as a whole
and to
try to become good again.
This was his first chance, I would argue.
Okay, well then why didn't they just leave him in? If it's all about developing him, why not just say you're starting all 18 games ahead of time?
Well, I think they should have, to a degree.
Okay.
Or kept him going. I think he should have got that Saskatchewan game. But I also it's at one point, okay, well, what's you know what you have in Cody at that point. You might as well then let Trey play a few more games if you're looking at next season. We're at next season point almost here. That's the thing. You know what Cody is.
Right, and he might be the quarterback for the next few seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah, he might be.
But that's my point, is that you might as well then just let Trey play, and maybe Trey figures, maybe if he's developed. Maybe he figures out what he needs to figure out, and all of a sudden you go, okay, no, there is a quarterback. Or maybe you go, and at the end of this, after 3 more losses or whatever, you say, look, Trey, you can't do this. And you could show everyone, Larry Thompson, you could show everyone, he can't play.
But I think the BC game was that game, and parts of the Winnipeg game. As much as it's they almost beat Winnipeg, they didn't almost beat Winnipeg.
He played well against Winnipeg.
Did he? He threw
Yes.
he threw an easily interceptable ball on a short out that should have been picked off. The guy dropped it.
Cody Fajardo threw an interception last week that was underthrown.
Yes, Matt, he did. But Trey has shown over and over again he doesn't deliver the ball where it should be. And he's thrown other crushing interceptions when he has started games. The home game against Winnipeg last year, they're in a low-scoring game.
Yep.
He tosses one over the middle right to a linebacker.
Bad one.
So there are mistakes in key moments, coupled with probably other things that the coaches don't like that we don't see.
Trey was not close to being the problem in that Winnipeg game. There was a lot more problems in that Winnipeg loss. He played well.
He played okay.
If Justin Rankin doesn't fumble that football, and Keon Julian Grant doesn't drop that football,
Yeah, sure, but
that game is much different.
possibly. We'll never know.
You can look at it. It won really, really bad. And now look, that's a historic bad game. But I wouldn't throw the Winnipeg one in there. And Ottawa was a good football game.
True, he played very well against Ottawa. I would put the Winnipeg game in there where he still needed to play better. I mean,
pleasantly
compare
surprised with them
him to other
Winnipeg.
quarterbacks. They're outplaying him. Even the not PJ Walker, who was awful. I thought
He was
I
terrible.
thought with a week
I'll
of
take him
practice, he
over.
could still win.
I still would take him over Chris Streveler.
PJ Walker or
Strevler
Ford?
knows how to get
Ford.
it done, though. Oh, Trey Ford? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd take him over Strevler.
All right, so that's another backup though.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you have to lose if you go to Trey Ford if they lose this week?
Well, yeah, you keep losing games and you keep losing people caring or going.
100%. But if you lose this week, you've already lost. Still, you're still losing.
That crowd was bad the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
It was the best crowd of the season.
It was the
18?
best.
What
crowd
did
of the
they
season.
announce?
18 something.
It was like more
Well, half the people
more
left
people.
after.
Like like obviously the attendance is not great
Yeah.
relative to the history of the team.
Maybe I'm taking the second half
The
after the rain delay.
Hamilton side is the one on TV,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is always has fewer people.
Yeah.
'Cause they're in the sun.
And
On
that's the side I'm looking
But
at.
it's
the
Right.
14. It was like 14 something, 16 something, 17 something, 18 something.
most. Okay.
Right. So
Well,
however
that's
many
good.
people were
I-
actually there,
I
but it
stand corrected.
felt there were more people on the Elks bench side.
Okay.
Which is where we sit.
And that was a hot day.
It was a hot day.
It was very hot. I'm still dehydrated from that game.
How many beers did you have?
None.
What?
I don't drink at the games.
He drinks before the games.
And
Well,
after,
you usually need to
soothe his
drink
pain.
after. I'm just saying, you know, at some point the team needs to be about more than let's just develop Trey Ford. Well, let's give Trey another chance. Let's give Trey another chance. Because you got to remember there are other players on the team, right? So I think that's why they changed the quarterback after the BC game, is that they can't just say, okay, we're going to punish or we're going to demote other guys who play poorly, but the quarterback who played poorly keeps like there has
But the
to
quarterback's the only one that's really getting punished. If it was about performances, Keon Julian Grant would not be part of this team later this week. He would not be playing at least.
True.
They have players that could replace him on the roster.
Well, maybe they will.
Well, so it's like it can't be just on the quarterback. He's cost this team points this season
Right.
in the game. I don't know necessarily points in the standings. So that's like it's about everyone, but the other positions aren't always getting looked at.
Well,
I think
they
I think
probably
you
are.
have one more chance to try to develop Trey this season, and then it's over. And I think if you keep losing football, I mean, now obviously Cody goes wins against Montreal. Things are different. Once you start winning, it's different. But if you keep losing, even with Cody, I don't care if he's looking good. This team's still losing football games.
So you would sooner lose with Trey Ford trying to find his way.
If this team drops to 1-8, or is it 1-7?
Well, what do they know?
It's 1-6 right
They're
now.
1-6 right now. If they drop to 1-7, you might as well.
Yeah, I don't know. About
Doesn't
that.
matter. You're not making the playoffs now. They
Well,
need
they're
to
probably
run.
already. I mean, they have to win 4 of their next 5 games to have a chance.
I would say for sure, like to finish out August, they have to sweep. They can't afford another loss. So if you lose one, it's over anyways. And if you believe that Cody is the guy, or you know what he can do, then you know that he could be your starter for next year. Might as well give Trey one more shot. Because then, if he's not, you could cut him, move on, and it's Cody's team fully next year, entirely. And you gave him that one last shot to see if he learned from the benching or if he learned from going on the sideline. The team has spoken about how they still are trying to develop him, that this is part of a process to develop him. If that's the case, then at some point, give that a shot to see if he develops. And it's better than throwing him in the last 2 games of the season when no one's playing hard.
Well, I just think at some point you have to recognize a player is just who he is.
Sure.
And there are other quarterbacks who have had Trey Ford's amount of experience who have looked better,
Fair.
such as Ricky Ray or Mike Riley.
That's very different.
Now, I know there's 2 of the best in the history of
Yeah.
the franchise, but you need a very good or excellent quarterback
The other argument is
to be really good.
a guy like Cody took a few years to develop himself. He was nothing in Toronto. Went to Saskatchewan, never was surprised that all of a sudden he was a starting quarterback.
But he was, from what I
Anytime he
remember,
went in Toronto, it wasn't good.
well, did he start there though?
He would have had a few starts there. And then
He
I
was
remember it was
Ricky's
a
backup,
surprise. He would have been there. Him and was Harris there?
Harris was there when Ricky was first there.
But I
Oh, what
remember
about
when he
Claros?
first, 'cause I think he came in for injury with Saskatchewan at one point. And there was a lot of people like, oh my God, he's actually playing well. because no one saw that from him. That's the thing. Sometimes Jeremiah Mazzoli took a long time till he started being a good quarterback.
He's not really that good.
He
Was for a period of time. For a period
window.
of time, he was. He led the team to a Grey Cup. Back-to-back years. Well, him and Dane Evans in that time.
Oh, when he was in Hamilton,
VA took a while to become the guy. VA didn't start his career in Montreal.
He bounced
as the guy.
around.
He bounced around a bit, and it does sometimes take time to develop that person. And there's a lot of quarterbacks that could have been thrown away a lot earlier that didn't do well throughout a first little bit, and they finally got it on that next chance.
Sean texting and says, "How about find a real QB and develop Trey into backup?" That's kind of what's happening now, isn't that what we've kind of seen the shift over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I just think, Matthew, some of the guys you mentioned, Fajardo, Adams, there were stronger signs that they were going to be legitimate starters.
I would argue against that with Fajardo for sure, and Jeremiah Mazzoli from their earlier part of those careers. When we first saw them, I don't think anyone was picturing them being Grey Cup starting QBs.
But to Sean's comment, by the way, Fajardo literally was the Grey Cup MOP or MVP and led the Alouettes to a Grey Cup 2 years ago.
23, yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of legit.
Yeah, no, Fajardo's pretty good.
Yeah. So they kind of have that situation.
But, I mean, then it's the whole situation. I mean, Trevor Harris has never looked better than this year in Saskatchewan. I mean, he's been around a long time. So sometimes it's the coaching and the players around you as well.
And that's just the one thing I'd like to see with Trey still is an offense just trying to use his strength, which is his mobility. And we didn't see that. We haven't seen that.
No, true. But, I mean, do you want an offense built around a quarterback running?
Yes.
I mean, I think pro defenses figure that out after a while. Or there are ways to limit it.
Different styles, but a lot of the things that are said about Trey Ford were said about Lamar Jackson when he finally went to the National Football League. And they built an offense specifically for Lamar. They were one of the only NFL offenses that did what they did. Everyone else was pass heavy or even started to run heavy. And it's different. And Trey's not Lamar, but it can be done where you could then build an offense that's best suited for the weapons you have and then grow from there. And that's the one thing I just honestly would really love to have seen.
All right. Well, I just want the team to win, and I think Fajardo gives them a better chance to do that.
Absolutely. But that's where I'm just saying with this argument, if they lose again, you're still losing, though.
True.
Okay, here's an interesting point to follow up what you just said, because who did I interview at halftime? I had Keandre Smith.
Well, you interviewed a lot of people.
Yeah, well, they had me running around
delay.
during the delay. But then I had, who did I have? Was it Rankin? Anyway.
I love the Rankin playing with the camera at one point.
Rankin's hilarious. He's a good dude.
The eyes.
Yeah. Anyway, Milt, I think I threw it up to the panel, and Milt was listening to him talk, and he said to him, it sounds like Cody is the guy that the Elks and the players on the team want to be the starter. Just the way they're saying stuff. So.
Yeah, and it's if you go win football games, it's one thing. But again, if you keep losing football games, so then, like in the end, it's also what are we doing? You're still losing football games. You go to lose to Montreal, and then you go lose to Toronto or something. Like, what are you still doing? Because that's where, like, is anyone confident they're going to go beat Montreal this week?
No.
Is anyone confident?
You know my confidence level.
I know, but
since
like
the start of the year,
is there confidence now that they're going to go beat Toronto the week after?
It was Dunbar who I talked to at halftime.
Okay.
And that's who Milt thought. It was like,
And
that's the guy.
He actually had a decent sized drop for Cody this weekend that he needed to catch.
Did he win? Must have been in the fourth quarter. Or was it?
It was a tough play, but it hit his hands. He got hit and he dropped the ball.
Oh, that one over the middle. Yeah. Yeah, that was in the fourth.
You have to make that catch if you're a receiver. You got to make that tough catch for your quarterback.
Yeah. Well, their receiving core is not great.
They don't have a number
it's
one.
Okay.
No.
Dunbar's a really good number two.
Yeah, probably.
You'd want someone a little bit better than him.
Yes.
And then you could fill out the rest of the roster, the receiving core.
Yeah.
You want A's.
Ed has his work cut out for him. Ed Hervey, the GM. People don't know who I'm talking about. you know, a lot of the stuff he did in the offseason hasn't worked out as well. Now, I know he was perhaps starting from scratch.
Pretty much.
Somebody criticized Ed, just wrote in and said Ed is terrible on the postgame show. And Jay said, well, like, show your work. You know, like that's fine. The guy, to be fair, the person wrote back and said this, this, and this. And Jay commented on some stuff, some of which he agreed with, some of which he didn't. I mean, it's tough because Calgary's turned it around in a year. Now, Dickinson, there a long time.
There are some pieces that remained.
Right.
He's their D coordinator, was on the staff. It's his first year as a D coordinator, but he was on the staff.
So that's what, there's two ways to look at this. Like it's difficult. And again, I'm talking more as a season ticket holder now. It's difficult, you know, basically 7 or 8 seasons of not being a Grey Cup contender. I mean, it's going to be 5 in a row of being last or almost last.
Yeah.
You know, in 19, they crossed over and actually made the East Final, but they weren't very good. They were mediocre. In 18, I mean, the second half of 18 was a disaster. They were 6-3 and missed the playoffs.
Yep.
You know, and then with 16 and 17, they still had Riley, but kind of were down a tier maybe in terms of being to a, well, I guess.
That's when Brock had taken over
Brock took over
in 19?
I think for 18.
18.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's where, because Ed,
Yeah, like at the very start of the season.
Or maybe 17.
It was we had
No,
the
it
world
was-
we had
yeah.
the World Curling Championships here.
But anyway,
all
you
I
know,
know.
so it's the one thing where it's, you know, it's like, man, like they're just bad again. I just want them to win games. And Taylor Inglis, by the way, on with Jay on Saturday was really good. Like, I felt he was more saying like, okay, it's a new regime. He thinks it's the right regime. He thinks it's guys who know the culture and are going to bring back the good culture.
yeah, I still agree with
And
that.
like at one point he said to Jay, well, what did you expect? Like year one of this, you know, like, did you really expect they were going to be a Grey Cup contender? If I would have been on with him, I would have said no, but 3 and 4 or even 2 and 5 instead of 1 and 6 would feel better. But you know, it's tough to be like, okay, well, here's a new regime, rebuilding, starting over. I get all the stuff. They're young. You know, they're trying players. Like, even you can see DeBlanco sort of learning on the fly.
He had
I
a
think
great game.
He had some
looked
good
like.
games. I think he got exploited a little bit on the final drive. Like, I talked
Yeah.
to somebody who said Bo Levi was kind of manipulating him and turning him and then putting the ball behind him, which I thought was interesting. But so that's the one side of it. You know, those are the two sides of it. Like, let's just actually look better. But then the other side of it is like, well, no, Ed and Chris and Killam and some of the new coaches aren't responsible for the previous stuff, and you have to let them build their own way.
For them, the clock resets.
Right.
But
Which- but
fans don't
absolutely.
forget.
Right. That's the frustrating thing for me. And I also wonder, I'm going to throw this out there, and I want Ed Hervey to succeed. When I deal with Ed, he's good with me. I've kind of sort of known him professionally for a long time. But does Ed get a free pass from some fans because he played?
I think
he
there's
was,
a
and he was the
leeway there.
GM in 2015.
That you have to have both.
Like,
he is the
I
last
feel-
Grey Cup winning GM.
I
of the
feel
team.
like
He's the
Miss-
last one to build it.
Right, which is good. And I think he and Jones kind of did that together. Like, Jones found Durrell. That was an Ed.
Right, but he's
know,
still the general manager, and you get the credit.
he's
as
still the
general
GM, and
manager.
he
if you're going to
gets-
get
he
all the
gets the
criticism
credit.
of that, you're the GM.
Right.
Chris gets the credit for being a coach.
Right. So, I mean, what's the clock on Ed? You know, like,
He needs time.
You get 3 years. I always think
Yeah.
every regime gets 3 years to me.
Yeah.
But next year, like, it's also how does year 2 go?
Well, I think it's going to be way better. Not that the
Well,
bar is
better.
being set that high
gotta
right
be.
now. Sorry. But if you look at it, and I think it is a good reminder because the record is what it is now, and the season has not gone well when it comes to wins and losses. But you look at those teams, the actual competitive ones, the ones that were in West finals and went to the Grey Cup in 15-1. Like, there were still flaws in the organization. Like, Len Rhodes was the president, right? Okay track record, but you couldn't look at him and be like, man, that guy's the guy. Like, I have 110% confidence in him doing the right thing pretty much all the time. No. Obviously, the Eric Tillman era was horrible. And then they go to Brock Sunderland after they get rid of Ed. And it was a slippery slope. Now, and that's why there needs to be some grace, they got a guy in Chris Morris who went and did the work with the U of A, wants to get it back to the Eskimo way, got a new owner who's giving these guys the ability and the opportunity to do it and wanting to get it back to how it was because that's what he remembers. Then you bring in Ed to make good on the last time, and he has proven to be a good GM in this league. And you got a new head coach with a new DC who's doing it for the first time in the CFL. And you got Maximic who's trying to become stronger and better. And, you know, as an OC, you have to give them time. And at least with from the top president down, even throw an owner now because there's no more board. It's like you can look at it as a fan. I'm also a season ticket holder. I do cover the team, but I'm a season ticket holder. I look at that and I go, okay, the owner, he's got the bucks and he wants to put the right people in place. And his thought is to get it back to being the flagship of the league. Check. The president, hard-nosed guy, stayed in the community, did it with the Golden Bears, wants to get this team back to where it used to be. Check. He brings in Ed. Same thing. Ed lives here, even though he went to BC, even though he went to Hamilton. He wants to get this team back, and he wants to make good on that last time. Check. And then you got this new head coach that's got all the piss and vinegar in the world and has had 2 decades in this league and is finally getting his opportunity, and the guys seem to like him. And check. Like, you have to let them cook a bit.
But
And
what's
it's
the
not gonna
timeline for that?
It can't just be 8 games, 7 games.
No, I'm not suggesting anybody should
I'm
get
not
fired.
saying you're suggesting. I'm saying there's probably people out there being, oh, wrong guys. No,
But
that's not true.
You get a minimum 2 years, I would say, but next year you have to start seeing those improvements.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
the good story has to start. It goes
Right,
away,
I guess
it's
I
about
just,
business at that point.
There's a part of me that's just tired of next year, but
I know,
there's
yes.
also a part of me that understands the reality of it, and understands that I saw this happen with the Oilers, keep changing coaches and GMs and key players, and it's like you couldn't blame Todd McClellan for how Pat Quinn or Tom Rennie coached,
Right.
or,
but
or
the
whatever.
flip side on what hurts Ed is Calgary changed 12 defensive players this year.
Right.
That part's insane.
Yeah.
Edmonton changed 8.
Well, and look how good Hamilton's gotten over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part. Is the CFL, you could make changes a lot quicker. You could get good in a snap of a finger, a lot better than in other leagues.
Right.
But right now, a lot of the moves that have been made, actually, like, you know, I think this defense is looking better without Bynum or Metier right now. With Logan Jr. and Garnes, they're looking pretty good out there. Ross is
Anderson
looking pretty
last
good
week.
out there. Like, though some of these lesser known guys are actually the guys that are now producing a little bit better, and this defense has had its 2 best games back-to-back weeks.
Right.
This might be a stretch too, but I know they're 1-6. But they were close this past week. They were pretty close. They made it interesting against Saskatchewan.
That's the key. They made it
They were
interesting against Saskatchewan.
In the mix right there with Winnipeg, in Winnipeg until the 4th quarter. There are some like crumbs that are encouraging that you can pick up on.
Yeah, but I mean, last year they lost 3 games on the last play.
Yeah, that's true.
Like literally on the last play.
Well,
3 in a row.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still like I get that. I do see the good things, but I guess I'm a little gun shy where I think, okay, is this actually, you know, in August of 2027, we're going to be like, oh yeah, this powerhouse team started with those crappy losses in 2025. Fine, but I'm also worried, is this just another team that's not going to be good enough and can't get over the hump, and
You're
they're still going to be
jaded.
searching for players?
But with reason.
Yeah.
Because it's
Right.
been a long time. And you've seen this happen often where it looked, okay, new regime, here's the change. Is they're going to get better? You just got to go through the growing
Right.
pains of the first year, and then things are going to improve, and then it doesn't improve. And then there's another change, and then it's okay, well, this is the restart,
Right.
and stuff like that. I wish I was as jaded as you going into this season.
Well, I wasn't I?
Yes, you were, but you've nailed it. Like, you weren't sold as much on this team. Not that you didn't want it to be like that. I don't want.
No, I want them
But-
to succeed.
absolutely. But
that's part of my job. Is
it's-
like that's where I separate the trying to be a hopeful fan.
I
It's
think
like,
you
hey,
did
what
a
am I
great job of
actually
that better
seeing?
than others.
Like, what am I actually
Includes
seeing?
me.
Well, They're still losing. They're still not good enough. They're still not executing in key parts of the game. Maybe it will turn around. Like football can be a quick turnaround. I mean, maybe
You go win in Montreal.
If they
All of a sudden, maybe that gets them rolling.
right. I
Cody
mean,
goes, puts a big game in Montreal. It's his whole team.
Yep.
It's probably going to be fired up to play in Montreal.
Montreal just got stomped.
Goes, beats Toronto. Goes, beats Ottawa. Maybe they're feeling good going up against Calgary. Maybe they split Calgary.
but they basically have to win
And then-
for the next 5. I think if
Well,
they're
yeah.
if they're 5 and 7, this is a big ask. But this is all
very big
like it
ask,
sounds
yeah.
absurd. But that to me, that's the only path to the playoffs is to be 5 and 7 after the Labor Day home and home, and then maybe you can get to 8 and 10, and you squeak in either in the West or with a crossover.
Well, BC doesn't look special.
Well, BC only beats Edmonton. I mean, they're
And
still
when-
at 3 wins, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Winnipeg's with Strevler, they do not look good.
No.
No, but they've got the 4th win now,
Yeah.
which is key.
And we'll see what happens with VA.
Well, that's the
could
thing.
go-
Calgary might, if Edmonton plays against PJ Walker a couple times,
Jeez.
I don't
be
know
the-
how long Adams is going to be out.
Yeah.
Portions of this hour of the Hangout, they're brought to you by the Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out. thehiveproductmarketing.com, EST, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Click on Shop EST. It's right there. Speaking of Labor Day, the EST Labor Day bus with the Edmonton Elks. We are heading down over 50% sold, so you're going to want to get your tickets now. Use EST Labor Day promo code when you go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Click, it says Labor Day bus. Click that. Sign up. We're going to head down to Calgary. A couple Canadian clubs for you. On the way down, we'll stop in Red Deer to stretch your legs, grab a quick bite if you'd like. Head to McMahon Stadium. We'll be there for the tailgating area. There for the game with a bunch of fellow nasty / Elks fans, and then some pizza on the bus ride back up. Everything taking place from drop off and pick up. You drop your car off at Commonwealth Stadium. So the EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Want to get to over under 4? Play Alberta. Download the app. Visit them. PlayAlberta.ca. EST Sports. Deposit $20. Get a $50 free sports bet. Or YEG 50. Deposit $5 and get a $50 free sports bet. Just looking at the lines for this week. Ticats -4.5 at home to the Lions. Montreal -4 against the Elks. The Argos -3 against the Red Blacks. And a big line. The Stamps -6 against the Blue Bombers.
What?
Oh,
Surprised by
interesting.
that one. They must be thinking.
Well, they've
VA
already
VA.
beaten them twice, haven't they?
But they must be thinking VA is playing.
Yeah.
PJ Walker versus Chris Strevler. I don't know what to make of that match. VA against, I guess, against Claros or Strevler. I could understand that
Sure.
line.
Even the Elks line, like,
-4. Well,
yeah, I might be tempted to take Edmonton in this one.
would
Because
you?
is Alexander out for sure?
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
seems
think-
like he even himself said it's going to be like 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't they put him on the 6th game or no?
I
Probably.
think they did, yes.
Yeah.
It's tough going to Montreal. I will say that.
Saskatchewan had no problem.
They are a much better football team than the
That is a
Edmonton
very
Elks.
good point. Very good
Yeah, they
point.
crushed him. Got Justin Lawrence on the show today. We'll ask what happened.
Excellent.
Just that's the only question.
That's the only thing.
Hey, what happened?
What
Just
happened
what
Saturday? Okay, thanks for coming on.
Yee.
Well, do you think the Elks can cover -4? Over under -4?
See, I'm going to take them in our in-house.
So they'll take the under.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to update that still. I haven't updated that for
I only
Tuesday.
sent you 3 because I woke
Yeah.
up from my nap and it was during the Ottawa game, and I'm like, no, I'll leave it. Dusty said that was a bold strategy. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I understood why you only sent 3.
Yeah.
He must not have. I would have accepted if you threw 1 in there.
it was already like 17-3, and I was like, I
know if
probably
you're-
shouldn't.
Al's -4.
Well, I would still take the Elks to cover, but I mean, I know I'm sounding very negative about the Elks. I don't feel. I don't think they can make the playoffs. I think the hole is too big. Again, they probably have to win 4 of their next 5. But the way they have played the last couple of weeks, I don't feel completely hopeless. I think they go into almost every game except maybe against Ottawa as the second best team on paper. But they are, and again, there are some things I'm seeing that as I was talking about earlier, I hope are signs of building towards better days. Like I do see a bit more of an attitude. I do see adjustments. Like there are glimmers, and there are things where it's like, those 2 or 3 plays that if they just could actually get an interception or a key sack or hang on to the ball. Like I kind of feel they're in that puncher's chance territory as opposed to a no chance territory.
The defense has made major steps forward, I would say, in the last 2 weeks. There's still that execution, like just as you, everything.
Well, and they
you just
needed to
said
stop
there.
that drive. They needed
And they couldn't make that stop at the end.
right.
They couldn't get that stop early. Like, now the return doesn't help them, but give up 14 points on the first 2 possessions. But everything in between was pretty good for that defense.
What is incredible is they only have 1 interception. It came from their D lineman.
And there's still
Zero fumbles,
Did
I
they
think.
sack Bo once? So they're
no,
5.
he slipped away.
So they didn't get a. So they think they're still at 4 sacks for this season.
Yeah, that part of it is.
I thought maybe they
baffling.
got him once, but yeah, maybe he got away.
They've got a bunch of turnover on downs, which
Their short yardage
I
game is very
appreciate
good.
that, but when your takeaways are so minimal, you don't have fumble recoveries, you don't create fumbles, opportunities, and you don't have any. You have 1 interception. It comes from your D lineman.
1 sack. Logan Jr. got to Bo.
They did, they did get one. Yeah.
So it's the defense is almost there, I think, where to being a level closer to what we thought they were going to be this season.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, back-to-back weeks. What was it? So 28 points, 21 the week prior? Or was it against Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan, they
It was
allowed 21. Yeah.
That's, and as I said, it's those first 2 possessions, which partly special teams' fault for one of them. That last offensive one you had, you really, for the majority of that game, you held them to 7 points. The question is, in the key moments, can you just go make that stop, or can you just go force that field
And that's
goal?
what they needed when it was 24-21. At least hold them to a field goal.
Hold them to the field goal. And they were doing that just prior. They were just keeping them out of field goal range.
Yeah.
But then when it really mattered, the stage gets
and
to
Bo,
them almost.
And Bo did what he wanted to do, right? Which is,
Oh, it's going to be an interesting post-game show on Friday.
Well, I hope so.
Well, we're at the Nasty
Well, I hope
Bash.
it's a joyous one.
We're at the Nasty Bash.
Yes. Well, so
Oh,
there will be joy. There will be
8:30
joy.
Nasty Bash. The post-game show's about 8:30 or so. So that's going to be a very fascinating one. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Should
Seeing
we
how it
give
goes.
the
Also,
Oilers news? Will people care about that? They
What
care
Oilers
about anything
news?
with the Oilers.
Go for it.
Jamie Cartmel and Andrew Peard have again won the Dick Dillman Award, which is presented for media relations and public relations excellence. So it's picked by the Professional Hockey Writers Association, which, are you part of it? I'm not.
No, I'm not.
You have to be a writer for that.
Well, Gregor's part of it.
He writes for Oilers Nation.
Okay.
I know,
So-
but that's how that one works.
So it is
what Friedman's
the
on it,
Capitals won they do one for each conference. So the Capitals won the East, and it's cited because of everything they had to handle with the Ovechkin stuff. And the Oilers won the West. They also won in 2021. So
this is first one for Peard.
Jamie's director of hockey communications. Peard is manager of hockey communications, and they also cite executive VP Tim Shipton as part of this award as well.
So first one for Andrew Peard.
Yeah.
Way to go, Peardo.
Oh no, Edmonton also won in 2023. So
Yeah.
3 of the last 5. Now
Peard
in
came last
2021 they gave out 4. They did 1 for each division.
Right.
Usually they do 1 for each conference.
Peard came last year.
Peard came in, midway through 23-24.
Right.
So that would have been
since
Sean
Jamie,
May.
they've won 3.
Oh,
Yes.
they never won it before Jamie.
No, they hadn't won. I think Bill Tuelli was the last one.
Yeah, this only
If-
goes back to 06.
Then they never did. Calgary would always win with
Peter
Kelso
Hanlon's
and Hanlon.
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's an assistant GM now.
I'm very happy for him.
Me too.
Sad that's because he was just too good.
Yeah.
But that's just it's a nice thing for him.
Jamie has been excellent. Peardo is excellent. I was always Sean May and I are still very good friends. Now he's the director of communications for the LA Kings. But
Holland followed him there, not the other way around.
that's right.
I want to make sure because Holland's bringing everyone in.
Fogel, same thing. But Peardo and Jamie and Tim used to be my boss back in the day, but they've done a good job. You can work with them, right? And that's reflective of that they get this award.
Also, who did he? Tyler Wright just went to the Kings.
Because he's Ken Holland's
Oh,
guy.
did he? I didn't even see
Yeah,
that.
that's this weekend or whatever. Like Ken Holland just brings his guys and all
Yeah.
that.
Well-
Which does make sense. Usually, you bring your guys when you go places.
Yeah, we said it when Tyler Wright was let go by the Oilers, that was the surefire sign that Jeff Jackson was sending the message to Ken Holland that this is it for you, because Tyler Wright is Kenny Holland's like right-hand man, basically. He had Archie Henderson as well, who was here with the Oilers for a little bit, but Tyler Wright's kind of the next one.
I don't get too mad, but 5 weeks away from training camp?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
right
ready.
away.
I'm not ready.
Is it Pracey that replaced Tyler Wright?
Yes.
And who replaced Archie?
It's a European guy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's been a bunch of changes there. I'm not ready. Just please.
47 days until the first preseason
No,
game.
we're okay. We'll just
47
wait.
days until preseason,
It's
so
okay.
about 43 from the start of camp.
Yeah, well, give me about 46 to actually
It's short, buddy.
not worry about. I know.
Like when they make the Cup final, there are 2 months of the season without an Oilers game if you count preseason and playoffs.
And that's okay.
June or July and
geez.
August.
I just realized, like, I didn't even put that kind of together.
Yeah.
I guess you could add, what about development camp? You could throw that one in there. There's those, isn't there like an inter-scrimmage game?
Well, was it the Joey Moss Cup or the
They
Billy
did
Moore's Cup?
Billy Moore's Cup.
Moore's Cup.
Yeah. And last year they didn't even go on the ice.
No?
Last
Oh yeah,
summer.
that's right. Yeah,
They just did all like team bonding and team
but it's basically a
orientation.
9-month season if you make the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
10.
Well,
Oh, you're saying regular season.
because there's
Yeah.
technically
you're-
June 17th to
I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
September 21st of there being games,
Yeah.
but there's only 2 full calendar months that don't have a hockey game.
Yeah.
Which are July and August. No, it used to be a lot longer. You could book it, the season being done April 15th every year.
Then you go on a nice holiday in like early May.
Yeah.
Come back, still got time to unwind.
The Stanley Cup should just be awarded like first week of June. At the
That'd be
Should be
latest.
done by the end of May.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Bedman thinks it's all fine the way it is.
Hey, people watch.
Belsey texted
Yeah.
me yesterday.
Well, if you're in the final, you're
He texted me that same thing. He's like, it's almost hockey season. I'm like, just give me 5 more weeks,
Yeah.
buddy. 5 more weeks.
Yeah. Riverhawks having a good season. They're going to have playoffs this weekend at Remax Field.
Yeah, who are they playing? What's their
can't
record?
remember.
Who's their best player? Nobody cares. Nobody knows.
What do you mean? They had a bunch of guys get drafted.
They were at the top.
Yes,
of,
but I'm saying nobody goes to the games and cares about the result.
I go to watch
I
Levi
agree with
Moon.
you. 100% agree with you.
Coaching.
Yeah.
But the idea that they got to go to like playoff game means another game to go to. They had another record season.
Yeah.
was
No,
like-
it's been incredible what they've done.
Stingers are getting close to the playoffs.
You know, they have still
They
have
are in the
three
playoffs.
home games left, 2 home
But
games left.
I think that's
Fighting for home
They
court.
have that weird playoff.
this upcoming
schedule.
weekend is and because Winnipeg's the host, they get a guaranteed spot in it in the
Yeah,
finals.
a couple
the
years
West
ago, like
final.
Ottawa was last in the
Yeah.
league, and
Well-
they went straight to the East final, didn't they?
Winnipeg's near the bottom, I think, and
The
they're
Sea
automatically in
Bears.
the West final.
Is it the Sea Bears?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm in Winnipeg.
So they do
the
that.
Sea of Manitoba.
But
of
we've
course,
got those
Winnipeg's right on
two.
the port.
And then what do we got? We've got folk this week, Fringe next week for a little bit, and then festival season's over. You get Labor Day.
Yeah,
You missed this whole Port of Manitoba thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm good.
the Sea of Manitoba.
Anyway.
What's that coming out of the water? It looks like a bear. Oh my God, that's a sea bear.
The Port of Manitoba.
Reid, thank you for coming in.
Oh yeah, it's great to
Appreciate
be
this.
here, Matthew. What an honor. Thanks.
Justin Lawrence, 3 to 6, Reid Wilkins show. with Jay
Justin
Miller.
Lawrence will be on at 4:00. We'll see what else Jay and I.
And you've got a big
Yeah,
guest
we'll
Thursday.
talk Elks. Should I
Is
say
that
it now? No,
I
I'll
would
say
hold
it on my
off.
show.
I'd hold off,
I'll
but it's
say it on my
Thursday,
show.
right?
Scheduled for Thursday at 4.
Thursday,
A
big
very
guest.
prominent
That's gonna be a fun one
entertainer will be joining the show, not an athlete
All right.
that you know of.
that we know of. Yes. Well, we'll talk sports with him.
Lock Shop coming up. We've got 2 guys and a goalie, EST Afternoons, a Reid Wilkins show with Jay Mill, and that's all to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Tommy, Reid, this was wonderful. On behalf of Reid, Tommy, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. As we said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here, joining us today.